You have this little group called BRICS. It's fading out fast, but BRICS is, they wanted to try and take over the dollar, the dominance of the dollar and the standard of the dollar. And I said, anybody that's in the BRICS consortium of nations, we're going to tariff you 10%. And they had a meeting the following day, and almost nobody showed up. They said, leave me alone. They didn't want to be tariffed, did they, Howard? So it's amazing. No, we're not going to let the dollar slide. If we have a smart president, you're never going to let the dollar slide. If you have a dummy, that could happen. Like the last one, he would, if you ever asked him about the dollar sliding, he would have no idea. But we can't let that ever happen again.
This is my video update on this Sunday afternoon, July the 20th, coming to you from Moscow. Let's talk about some news. And let's start things off with Trump and BRICS. And Trump signed the Genius Act the other day, which has to do with crypto and stable coins being tied to the US dollar. And Trump said that the Genius Act was named after him. He was joking around, of course, maybe, but he said the Genius Act named after me. And he signed the Genius Act. And then he started to talk about BRICS. And he said that BRICS is fading out fast. Trump sees BRICS as a threat to the USD's reserve currency status. And Trump said that he will do everything to protect the US dollar as reserve currency. He said that the US dollar losing its reserve currency status would be equivalent to the United States losing a world war. And then he said that he has warned BRICS member states or countries that are thinking of joining BRICS to not join BRICS and to not try and replace the US dollar. And then Trump claimed that he threatened them. He said he threatened them with a 10% tariff if they try to replace the USD. And this scared them away from the BRICS summit in Brazil. And this is not true. This is not true at all. The BRICS summit in Brazil was a successful summit, and many BRICS, all the BRICS members were there, and many countries looking to enter BRICS in the future were also in attendance. Modi was there. Putin attended via video link, but Lavrov was there. Xi Jinping was not at BRICS, but China was represented at the summit. Xi Jinping explained ahead of time. China said ahead of time that Xi Jinping would not be able to attend the summit in Brazil, but Indonesia was there. And on balance, it was a very successful BRICS summit. And BRICS continues to grow. It is not fading out fast. It's actually growing very quickly. Better to burn out than to fade away. Anyway, he said it's fading out fast, Trump, and it's not. BRICS accounts for more than 40% of the global economy, and so many countries are looking to join BRICS. And what BRICS is trying to do, they're not trying to replace the USD as reserve currency, at least not yet. But what they are definitely aiming to do is to insulate themselves from the weaponization of the USD, the weaponization of collective West institutions, sanctions, and now the weaponization of tariffs. You see, Trump is weaponizing tariffs. He is saying that if you join BRICS, or if you move towards replacing the USD as a part of the BRICS organization, then I'm going to place 10% tariffs on you. And this is not how tariffs should be used. This is not how many people thought the Trump administration was going to use tariffs. But they have now been weaponized in much the same way that sanctions have been weaponized and all of the collective West institutions have been weaponized. Even Even the Olympics has been weaponized. So yeah, BRICS is definitely trying to protect their members from the weaponization of the collective West. So fading out fast, that is what Trump said. Not sure where Trump is getting his information from, but BRICS is definitely not fading out fast. And so in Congress, we had an amendment to military aid, $900 billion in military spending. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, she proposed an amendment to stop money from going to Project Ukraine and also towards funding Israel's missile defense program. I believe what we are talking about is the Iron Dome, and that was Marjorie Taylor Greene's amendment, and it did not pass. No surprise there. This week, my amendment to stop your hard-earned tax dollars from being sent to continue slaughtering people in Ukraine and Russia failed because only 76 Republicans voted for it. Every single one of the anti-war Democrats voted for it, and 141 Republicans voted for it. They don't care that we are $37 trillion in debt. They don't care that Ukraine is not a NATO member nation. They don't care that our kids don't have a future because our government will collapse one day and our children will be buried under tremendous tax and debt burdens. You thought you voted to stop the America last bloodthirsty foreign intervention and wars. Well, this is what you got. A lot of people upset with AOC, not with Project Ukraine.
So sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to say thank you for all the great work that you've done. We all watch you and Alexander, and I want to say thank you so much.
Great, thank you. You don't mind if your voice, not you, if your voice is on video?
Absolutely.
Not you, just your voice.
I'll just comment under the video. That was me. That's all.
Awesome.
I love it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Scotsman in Moscow.
You know, I've seen his channel. He's got the red hair, right?
Yeah.
He's cool, man.
He's very good. Yeah.
He's very cool. I like that guy.
A big thank you to you and Alex across over in the UK as well. So
Awesome. Thank you.
I don't want to stop because I also want to see what you say later.
Take care, man. Thank you. So a lot of people are upset with AOC, not because of the Ukraine part of the amendment, but because of the Israeli defense spending part of the amendment. And AOC did not vote in favor of MTG's amendment, which means that she's in favor of continuing to send money to the Iron Dome, to Israeli defense. And a lot of people are upset with AOC. They thought AOC was different. She's not. She's an actress, as is Trudeau. Sorry, Justin Trudeau. You are an actor, but when you were the Prime Minister of Canada, you were the Prime Minister of Canada / actor / theater teacher and ski instructor. But he's an actor. Zelensky's an actor. Trump is a reality TV star. He was in Home Alone 2. Anyway, don't expect AOC to be any different. I don't think people should expect AOC to not vote against war, or to vote against war. Don't expect AOC to vote against war or against sending money to the military-industrial complex or to foreign wars. She's going to vote in favor of sending money to foreign wars and U.S. military interventions. Of course, she's going to vote in favor of that stuff. So yeah, she did not like MTG's amendment. Anyway, that is the vote that took place in Congress. Good on MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene. So Zelensky, he is in a panic, man. All of a sudden, Zelensky's in a panic, and it's almost as if He's been reading articles talking about his exit and his exile. It's almost as if Zelensky and his team of scriptwriters and producers have read recent articles, maybe by Seymour Hersh, maybe by the Financial Times. Volodymyr Zelensky accused of authoritarian slide after anti-corruption raids. Maybe articles by the UK Spectator. Ukrainians have lost faith in Zelensky. It seems like he has caught wind of all of these articles that have recently come out, almost within a 24-hour period, basically painting him as an authoritarian dictator, saying that he is going to exit the scene, that the US is not happy with him, that all they're waiting for is for Trump to give the okay and he's gone. He will be replaced by Zelensky. I'm not so hot on that idea, but anyway, Zelensky is no better than Zelensky. He may even be worse than Zelensky. But it looks like he is picking up on all of these articles and he is in a panic. And now he is all of a sudden saying that Ukraine needs to have a meeting with Russia to continue the Istanbul negotiations, of which Ukraine just a couple of days ago showed no interest in continuing. Zero interest in continuing. Actually, Peskov was asked about when Russia was going to have the next meeting in the Istanbul format, and Peskov said, we're waiting on Ukraine to tell us when. They don't seem like they're interested. They haven't said anything about another meeting, and now all of a sudden Zelensky's putting out TikTok videos and Instagram videos talking about how it's very urgent to have another meeting. I believe this would be the third meeting with Russia to try and get to a ceasefire, right? Because Kellogg was in Kiev for about a week, and I'm sure they talked all about the Kellogg freeze plan and the ceasefire, and I'm positive that Kellogg told Zelensky, look, we have to somehow get my ceasefire through. That's my plan, the freeze ceasefire, and we have to get that accepted. And Trump's upset with you. You're not pleasing the US, NATO, Europeans, very unhappy with you, Volodymyr. So you better get cracking on negotiations with Russia, and we need to convince Russia to agree to the ceasefire, to my ceasefire. I'm sure that's what Kellogg told him. And Zelensky, he is now urgently calling for a meeting with Russia, and he wants to hold the next round of talks next week. That's how much in a rush he is. He's afraid if he doesn't show any progress, then he will be on his way out. He will be living in exile in his villa in Miami. Welcome to Miami. Zelensky in Miami, huh? Or maybe in Hollywood, maybe in LA, hanging out with Clooney and Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie and Sean Penn, hanging out with Sean Penn. I thought he would be excited about that. I always thought that Zelensky would be excited about living in his villa in LA and hanging out with Sean Penn. I guess not. Anyway, Zelensky in a panic to get a meeting with Russia. So the wonder weapon, Abrams tanks, they have all been destroyed, at least the US Abrams tanks. National Interest put out an article with the title, Russia has decimated Ukraine's M1 Abrams fleet. Decimated Ukraine's M1 Abrams fleet. Ukraine's Abrams fleet, or the US is Abrams fleet? Come on, man. Russia's destroyed the wonder weapon US Abrams tank. That's what's going on here. That's what's going on. According to the National Interest, Russia has effectively wiped out nearly all of the American-made M1 Abrams tanks delivered to Ukraine. Military Watch magazine reports that out of the 31 tanks provided, only 4 remain operational, an attrition rate of 87%. Yeah, those Abrams tanks did not do very well. They did not do well at all. That was one of the bigger duds when it came to the wonder weapon narrative, huh? I would say the Abrams tanks and the F-16s. Yeah, the F-16s. That was a major dud when it came to the awesome wonder weapons. Yeah, so only 4 Abrams tanks left, huh? And now Australia is trying to rush Abrams tanks to Ukraine. I think they're going to give the Zelensky regime 41 Abrams tanks. Is that what Australia? 49. Australia is on the hook for 49 Abrams tanks, and I believe their first Abrams arrived in Ukraine the other day. And so the US told Australia, you better get some Abrams tanks to Project Ukraine ASAP. And of course, Australia told the United States, yes, sir, may I have another? Yes, sir, we will get our Abrams tanks to Ukraine. Not that 49 Abrams tanks is going to do much, right? 31 Abrams tanks were easily destroyed by the Russian military. US Abrams tanks, not Ukraine Abrams tanks, not the Ukraine fleet. US Abrams tanks, the US wonder weapons destroyed by the Russian military, and the next batch of US Abrams tanks sent by Australia will also be destroyed by the Russian military. And that brings us to the Patriot Air Defense clown show. This is some article here from Bild. This is an amazing article from Bild, and it talks about the Patriot Air Defense systems. Actually, the Wall Street Journal, they put out an article with the title, U.S. reshuffles arms deliveries to free up more Patriots for Ukraine. That is from the Wall Street Journal. And then Bild, they put out an article with the title, Did Trump Trick Us in the Ukraine Arms Deal? I don't know, Germany. Did Trump trick you? Was Merz tricked by Trump in the Patriots Arms Deal? Oh boy, Merz outsmarted by Trump. So what is going on here? Let me summarize this article. So basically what Bild is reporting is that at first Merz's plan, what he pitched to Trump, was that the U.S. sent Patriots to Project Ukraine, and Germany would pay. Germany would pay for those Patriots, but we're talking about U.S. Patriots to Project Ukraine, right? I'm going to try to block out that music. My voice might sound funny as I was walking through there, because I'm going to have to block out that music. But anyway, let me repeat what I just said. So the plan that Merz pitched to Trump was, you send U.S. Patriots to Project Ukraine, and Germany will pick up the tab. Well, now the plan appears to be that Germany is going to send Patriots to Project Ukraine, and Germany's going to pick up the tab, right? Germany's going to pay for it, and they're going to pay for it because they are going to be obligated to buy replacement Patriots and Patriot parts and supplies from the United States. Components, all of it has to come from the United States. So, to summarize, Merz was thinking, US, send Patriots from your inventory to Project Ukraine. Don't worry about it. We'll pay for it. And what it's turning out to be is Germany, you send Patriots from your inventory, and you're going to buy new Patriots and Patriot components, whatever you send to Ukraine, from the United States, and you're going to pay for it. And Germany is saying that Trump tricked them. I think you wanted to be tricked, Merz. Don't play the victim, Merz. You wanted to be tricked. And so what's the solution to all of this? Well, according to Bild, the workaround is that that Switzerland, which was next in line to receive the newest manufactured Patriot, Switzerland is now going to fall towards the bottom of the list, and Germany, once they send their one Patriot to Ukraine, which will happen in about 6 to 8 months, when they send that Patriot system, they're going to go to the top of the list to purchase the next Patriots that will be ready. So Germany goes on the top of the list, Switzerland gets pushed down, but they are going to be purchasing the Patriot from the United States, and Germany's going to be sending their Patriot to Ukraine at their expense. That's basically what is happening here. Did Trump trick us? I don't know. Did he? Did he, or did you want to be tricked? Oh my God. Amazing that these people are running countries, huh? So there was a big drone strike here in Moscow yesterday. About, I think 93 drones were launched into Russia from Ukraine, and I want to say 13 drones made it all the way to Russia, to Moscow, to the actual city and the outskirts of Moscow, and they did hit some apartment buildings. I mean, they were knocked down, from what I understand, by the Russian military, but they did land on apartment buildings and commercial buildings. So that happened yesterday evening. The airports were all shut down as well. Domodedovo, Sheremetyevo, Vnukovo, all of the three major airports in Moscow had to shut down as this drone attack was taking place, which serves no strategic military purpose for Ukraine. But what it does do is that it disrupts things for Russia, for Russian citizens, for Russian air travel, for airports. It disrupts things, and it gives Zelensky some sort of PR media talking point, right? Zelensky can show the collective West and NATO and Keith Kellogg and all of these guys that he still has the capability to strike deep inside of Russia, and I can do it with drones. So if I can do it with drones, just imagine what I could do with long-range missiles and tomahawks, right? That's the purpose of these drone strikes. So let's do some more news, and then we will wrap this video up. Let's talk about Georgia, the country, not the state. Georgia under pressure from the European Union to not give up on those democratic values, on the rules-based order. Georgia is moving away from the rules-based order and from democracy. This is according to the European Union, and they are very unhappy with Georgia. And they're still unhappy about the foreign agents law that Georgia passed, that the Georgia Dream got through the parliament. They're still unhappy about that. And Ursula, she's got tools, right? We've got tools, and she is now threatening visa-free travel into the European Union. The EU is going to take away the visa-free travel of Georgians if they continue pushing with their Foreign Agents Act. They continue to implement and enact this Foreign Agents Act. They're also going to stop EU integration. She's also threatening no more EU integration as well. Let's see. Let's try to move away from the music. Let's go under. We need to move away from the music, so we'll go to the other side. Music is always a problem when you're doing the walk and talks. So many things to think about as you're recording. Anyway, yeah, so that's what's going on with Georgia. No more visa-free travel to Europe, to the EU, and stopping EU integration if you continue to press forward with the Foreign Agents Act. And we actually had a parliament member of Georgia speak out against the EU's Soviet-like tactics. That's right. EU applicants' top MP compares bloc to USSR. Georgia's Shalva Papuashvili has accused Brussels of meddling in the nation's elections and adopting Soviet-style tactics. We've got tools. We've got Soviet-style tools. Soviet Union-style tools, says Ursula. So what did this MP say? The comments follow the European Commission's warning this week that Georgia's EU integration could be suspended unless the government returns to what Brussels calls a democratic path by the end of summer. The EU also threatened to revoke visa-free travel for Georgian citizens if the authorities fail to meet key conditions, including repelling the foreign agents law and strengthening LGBTQ plus rights. We see direct interference in the Georgian elections, Papuashvili said on Friday, as quoted by local media. It seems that some of the political elite in Brussels have taken some skills from the Soviet Union. Yeah, they've taken some skills, maybe from the Soviet Union, maybe from other authoritarian regimes of the past. maybe. But yeah, that's the statement from Georgia. And how about a quick update on Russiagate? No update on Epstein because nothing is being released when it comes to Epstein, and there is no client list. So no client list, no documents being released. So nothing to update, right? Just forget about it. Forget about Epstein. Isn't that what they're telling us? So we are distracted with Russiagate. Of course, we're distracted with Russiagate. Anyway, from Robert Barnes, the information disclosed by DNI Gabbard of the coup attempt against Trump in his first term was also known to Trump's last ODNI, but he hid it from the world. Guess where he is now? At CIA director. We're talking about Ratcliffe, right? An excellent point from Robert Barnes, right? Ratcliffe knew about everything that Tulsi disclosed. He knew about it many years ago. He was the DNI under Trump, wasn't he? I believe he was. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I believe he was. I think that's who we're talking about, the current CIA director. But why didn't he release this information? Good question. Very, very good question. And we have from Hans Munchke, as the full scale of the Russiagate hoax comes into focus, thanks to the damning disclosures from DNI Tulsi Gabbard exposing it as a coordinated conspiracy by Obama-era officials to sabotage the incoming Trump administration, we have to confront a plain fact. The main weapon deployed by the deep state wasn't just the media or the intelligence community, it was the Foreign Agents Registration Act, the FARA. And yet, 9 years later, the Trump DOJ's FARA unit is still run by an anti-Trump operative who once tried to coerce Flynn into lying. Even worse, the Trump DOJ is still actively pursuing one of those Mueller-era FARA cases, the one against Alptekin. It's one thing for anti-Trump operatives to remain scattered throughout the bureaucracy, but to leave one in charge of FARA after everything is beyond comprehension, it's indefensible. Another excellent point. You have the person, from what I understand from this post, you have the person who is currently the DOJ's head of the FARA unit. He's still in place, this person. And you have him in the DOJ currently under your administration, Trump, when he was the guy that was weaponizing FARA during Russiagate. Why is this person still there? If this is all about cleaning up the deep state and squaring up everything with the Russiagate hoax and scandal. Lot of good questions. So that's an update there, and we can now get to a clown world. How am I doing on time? Yeah, we got to wrap this video up. Today's clown world, we are talking about the Tempest. What is the Tempest? The Tempest is the latest and greatest UK fighter jet. That's right. From the Telegraph, she's going to be big. Why Putin should fear Britain's next fighter jet. The early signs suggest Tempest is being designed for missions deep into enemy territory. So yeah, this is the fighter jet that is being developed by the UK, Italy, and Japan. It's just now starting, from what I understand. Like they've got the plans ready and prepared, and they're going to start building this amazing wonder weapon, which will be ready by 2035. That's right, 2035 is when this will be ready. And the word is that this will be a big problem for Putin and Russia, and also a big problem for China, because this is big. It's a big fighter jet, and if the UK needs to, it can go deep into the Russian Federation. It can strike deep into China, and yeah, that's the Tempest, everybody. That's the Tempest from the UK. If NATO ever ended up at war against Putin's Russia, experts say this means the aircraft would take off from a British airfield, fly to Russia undetected, destroy hostile air defenses, and then fly all the way back. Not only that, but such a long range would allow Japanese pilots to strike deep into the Chinese mainland in any future Pacific conflict. A two-front war. Russia and China. The UK is preparing to take on Russia and China, and they are manufacturing the Tempest, which will be ready by 2035. And when it's ready, then the UK is going to be ready to strike deep into Russia, and Japan will be ready to strike deep into China by 2035. So that is the latest from the UK. And yeah, it is a two-front war that they are preparing for. NATO must be ready for a two-front conflict with Russia and China. Top U.S. commander in Europe says NATO must prepare for the possibility that Russia and China could launch wars in Europe and the Pacific simultaneously, with 2027 being a potential flashpoint year. 2027, but the Tempest is going to be ready by 2035. How is the UK going to defeat both Russia and China if the Tempest is not ready? If this two-front war is going to be launched in 2027, how is the UK going to defeat China and Russia? I don't know. I just don't know. I don't see how it's going to happen without the Tempest. It's all about the Tempest. Pour in more money to the development of the Tempest. So that's the video. A two-front war. That's what they're talking about, folks. By 2027. That's what NATO is talking about, which is code. It's code for NATO saying, give me money. That's what NATO is saying. Give me money. 2027, we need to prepare for a two-front conflict. Why not make it 3? They're forgetting about Iran. Why not make it 4? Throw North Korea in there as well. Make it a 4-front war. Maybe a 5-front war. I don't know, 6-front war. Throw in South America. I don't know, maybe Brazil. Throw in Africa. Make it a 6-front war. Give me money. We need to prepare for a 6-front war. NATO needs to prepare. Anyway, everybody, that is the video. I was in Novi Arbat. I was walking Novi Arbat, and now I am at Stari Arbat, Old Arbat. So I was at New Arbat, and now I am at the beginning of Old Arbat. And more music, so the video ends. TheDurant.locals.com. We are on Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, Telegram, Rockfin, and X. Go to the Durant shop, pick up some merch like what I'm wearing in this video update. Take care.